It's the classical fall of man story. It's the story of Exodus. It's part of the reason that people aren't enlightened. It's that if you're going to go up, man, every up is predicated by a down of equivalent magnitude.
Right.
Because look, if you're going to improve, you're going to discover that you're wrong about something first. And then to be wrong about something means you're going to fragment, and it's going to be painful to recognize the fact of that error, to recognize the consequences of that error across your life, to have to reformulate yourself so that that error is no longer acting out as part of your personality in your life. It's an unbelievable descent. That's another thing that this is part of the reason why, for all the respect I have for Joseph Campbell, Campbell says, follow your bliss. And that is certainly not something that Jung said. Because Jung said, you search out what you're most terrified of and what you're most disgusted by, and the place you least want to go, where you have to bow the lowest. And that's the place where salvation might be found. And and I believe that's true, and I believe it's terrifying. The pathway to redemption is through recognition of error, not through bliss. And I think this is a psychotherapeutic truism, is that if you're going to confront a monster, and you most certainly are, then you do it at a time and place of your choosing. Because otherwise it waits until you're at your weakest and most vulnerable, and then it attacks. And so there is no monster-free pathway forward.
No, that's right.
To prepare as a knight of Christ, let's say, so that when it comes, you're there, or in fact confronting it at its weakest point, or you cower and you wait and it devours you. And those are your options. And we don't have the wisdom of the kind of pessimism that enables us to view life that way. We think, well, if we're careful and we're quiet, well, the monster will avoid us completely, and everyone knows that's a lie. One of the things I really learned from reading the Abrahamic stories is that the fundamental call is a call to adventure. And even the adventure, the relationship with God that's part of that adventure, is wrestling with God